Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, publisher of Modern Health Myths, and today we're going to talk about the use of foam rolling to treat post workout or soreness that you might have in the muscles after you work out. Now, before we start, I need to kind of give a brief primer on the fascia, which is the tissue that surrounds pretty much everything. I call it the sheath that surrounds all of our muscles, our ligaments, tendons, organs, everything. And probably the biggest problem we have with an injury, whether it's something dramatic, I've had elbow dislocations, had my thumb dislocated, had my extensor tendon ripped off on my finger, or I get home from training and it's kind of like nothing really happened, but an hour later, I'm like, what the heck did I do to my arm or my neck or my low back or my knee, whatever it would be. And um, those initial injuries probably start in the fascia. So the muscle is trying to, or the body is trying to splint to protect the area, so it thickens up the fascia that should normally be very pliable. The example I usually give in the office is bubble gum. Bubble gum is it's warm, it's moist, it's pliable, it can hold stuff together, it can stretch, and then you put a piece of ice in your mouth and all of a sudden that bubble gum is hard and you have to chew it again to get it to warm up. That's a lot like what happens in the body after an injury. And again, it can be a dramatic injury, it can be a small injury, it could just be some post-workout soreness. And I have long promoted that if we work on those things quickly, they resolve quickly and don't ever become an issue. I think one of the problems we have with chronic pain is that we mismanage the acute on the front end, and that comes from not really understanding the fascia. So back to the foam rollers. I firmly believe that foam rollers, or even the vibrocussor, the Theragun, those different devices, they can warm up the fascia that's tightened back up, and foam rolling can do that effectively. I do not believe that those types of devices, whether it's foam roller or Theragun, your average massage therapist, there's certainly massage therapists that can go deeper and more aggressive, but I do believe that all they really work on is the initial portion of an injury. With a chronic injury, I do not feel that these are deep or aggressive enough to get to some of the underlying fascia and to get it to warm up and change consistency. But that doesn't mean that it's not effective on a routine basis after soreness, if you or after workout if you have some soreness. It certainly makes a lot of sense. Foam rollers are very inexpensive. They're easy to use at home, and the accessibility of them, you work out and you come home instead of having to make an appointment with a chiropractor or massage therapist, you have the tool right there to use and loosen something up if some muscle doesn't feel right. And that is likely what keeps things from going chronic. So that's kind of my brief primer on those Theragun and foam rollers. That kind of leads into this particular study on foam rollers. It was actually looking at a group of 13 different studies, and they found that foam rolling was effective for increasing range of motion, which means that it probably loosened up those tight areas of the fascia and allowed them to stretch and move the range of motion. So not a jaw-dropping study, but it's nice to see that that's confirmed, that it actually increases range of motion and should go a long way towards keeping injuries from becoming chronic. So as always, I will post a link to this particular study in the comments section. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.